A reasonable standard of living is more certain when citizens who are given the chance take steps to become educated, knowledgeable and enabled to find solutions to meet individual and collective development challenges. Hi there, I'm Adrian Atkinson, and in this edition of Jamaica Magazine, strategies for meeting the challenge of creating energy efficiency are explored, plus getting help in starting a profitable business. Also on the pages, scholarships to meet our children's educational goals. Stay with us for these, our top news stories of the week and more on the other side of this break.
Householders, business people, school administrators, protect yourself and your children from the chikungunya virus. Be on the alert. Help control the mosquito population. Chikungunya is a virus transmitted by the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which breeds in and around your home, workplace, and school. Destroy breeding sites. Empty old tires and all other containers where water can settle. Bore holes in old cans. Cover water drums and garbage cans. Wash flower pots and vases and clean pet dishes regularly. Protect yourself from mosquito bites. Cover your body as much as possible and use mosquito repellent containing DEET. And if you're experiencing symptoms of chikungunya, a sudden high fever, headache, rash, nausea, pain, stiffness, or severe joint pains, see your doctor or go to the nearest health center.
All of us must take actions to conserve and use energy efficiently. This is important for a sustainable future. Take a look at this strategy for creating efficiency.
Businesses and individuals making the change. Government committed to the promotion of renewable energy in all sectors of the society, and the momentum is increasing. High energy bills continue to be a reality for Jamaica, and government is adamant that this must change.
Our approach has been to tackle this through focusing on, firstly, conservation and renewables, and I'm going to deal with that in a bit. Secondly, the legislative and the regulatory framework. And third, investment in our energy infrastructure.
To promote conservation and renewable energy, government removed taxes from renewable energy equipment and suspended the common external tariff on selected machinery and equipment commonly used in the industry. This created more financial space for businesses and individuals to implement energy-saving measures, and more important, it continues to facilitate startup and encourage growth in existing businesses, and ultimately achieving government's vision for greater use of renewable energy.
Renewable energy is the fuel of the future. As we chart our own path to growth, we must begin right now where we are, with what we have. And we have available to us, Mr. Speaker, sun, wind, water, and waste.
Taking advantage of those resources will require action on the part of the people. To do this, every Jamaican must first get involved in the energy discussion, starting with awareness. And that was the main goal of the 2014 Alternative Energy Expo put on by the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica, PCJ.
The public is very keen to get information about reducing their energy spend. A lot of people are contemplating renewable energy, but they don't know a lot about it. And so what PCJ is doing is just trying to demystify renewable energy for the consumer. We're trying to break down the concepts, explain the terminologies, the technology, so that consumers can make the best purchase to meet their needs.
Service providers from the public and private sector were on board, exposing patrons to a wide variety of options, from LED lighting and wind turbines to solar-powered water heaters and air conditioning units for homes and businesses. There was also a conversion kit to transform your traditional electric water heater to a solar-powered energy-saving system.
So with this kit, what we do is replace the AC heating element, alternating current heating element. As you know, your house will use alternating current with DC heating elements that solar panels produces. So these heating elements will be connected directly to solar panels and powered by the sun, heat your water during the day without be connected to your household power.
Speaking of household power, did you know that you can actually monitor and even store the energy you get from the grid? Yes, you can, through what is called a grid-tied system.
A grid-tied system operates primarily without batteries. It's interconnected to your utility main. It generates the power and reduces the amount of energy that you take from the grid. If you have excess energy, it returns it to the grid. When coupled with this yellow inverter, which is a battery inverter, excess energy does not go to the grid but is stored in a battery pack. Here you can extend the use of solar energy into the night.
To use the grid-tied system, you'll need a license from the Jamaica Public Service. The Alternative Energy Expo offered more ways to monitor your energy usage, like the 7-day digital timer.
So it's a 50 cycle for 110 volts. What you do, you set the time you want the appliance to turn off, turn on. It automatically does that for 7 days of the week. If no one presses the button here, it repeats itself.
Then there's the Envir Smart Monitor. You can connect it to your breaker systems, which transmits vital details about your energy usage pattern.
It tells you what time of the day your energy peaks. It tells you the kilowatt hours for 1 day, 30 days, 7 days for the entire month. It also tells you the cost, but of course you would have to input the cost per kilowatt, and you can see that on your bill. It has an instruction manual, so it's pretty easy to program.
With such valuable information on ways to reduce energy consumption, patrons at the Expo felt more equipped to make smarter energy choices.
Yes, I will be getting some tips on my home how to save energy, and I will put it to use.
I'm impressed with the Expo in terms of the quality I've seen. In fact, I was very surprised. Have I seen what I like? Yes. Have I got some inquiry? Yes. Will I do business based on the Expo? I think so.
The PCJ Alternative Energy Expo also provided one-on-one consultations, advising patrons on what would work best in their environment.
So before you do any kind of purchase or installation, there must be a site assessment. Look at your location. What is happening there? What will happen there in the future? Will your neighbors build high-rise and block out the sun? Will your equipment be secure? Do you have enough room to install your panels? If you're thinking of using a structure, is it a safe and solid structure? So these are some of the things that you have to think about before you make that investment.
The National Water Commission (NWC) is now on a drive to rapidly fix leaks affecting the water distribution systems across the island. 2 leak hotlines have been established. Report leaks by calling 733-5655 and 733-5656. You may also send a text to 838-LEAK. That is 838-5325. Remember that a little effort will make a big difference. Be a leak detective. Conserve on water today.
Whether for the sole trader or conglomerate where the competitive edge is gained or maintained, the possibilities for wealth creation are endless. The Ministry of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining is paving the way for youth with the zeal, skill and a business plan to become established. Learn more in this feature.
Startup Jamaica is an accelerator which will take, in exchange for an equity stake in the companies of tech entrepreneurs, will provide seed capital, mentorship, technical help and support to move entrepreneurs who have ideas from the stage of just being ideas or concepts to the stage where they can be successful businesses. So what it is intended to do is to take the very raw talent which we have seen in a number of the initiatives that we have had, from Digital Jam 2, Digital Jam 3, Kinstone, where young Jamaican entrepreneurs have developed solutions, applications, to take those to the next level where they can become businesses, and most importantly, businesses that can compete on the global market. The two main challenges that we have seen for young tech entrepreneurs are, one, the absence of funding for these ideas. So you'll find that many of them develop good ideas or good concepts, but they can't take it any further because they have no means of funding it. The target market that we are talking about are, some of them are high school students, some of them are university students. They are in the late teens, early 20s age range. So they don't have assets to pledge to get collateral. So the absence of funding has been an issue for them. So this will provide seed capital for them. So the total contribution for each entrepreneur is going to be the equivalent of $30,000 US. And of the 30,000, 14,000 will represent the cash contribution, and that cash contribution is to allow from each team or company and individual to focus their full-time effort during the period of the accelerator. And the accelerator period is going to be a 100-day period. The rest of that contribution will come in kind from the being in the physical facility, and Jamaica National, which is another one of our partners, has kindly offered to use 2 floors of their facility on Duke Street, which we will be retrofitting. Lime is going to be providing the equipment and the furniture. NCB has also come on board as a sponsor because they are also interested in promoting the development of the ICT sector and promoting tech entrepreneurs. And Oasis 500, which is an accelerator out of Jordan, they are going to be providing the technical expertise and the seed funding for these entrepreneurs.
Tech entrepreneurs, you can submit your application at www.start-upjamaica.com. From here, 30 to 40 teams will be selected and taken through a boot camp before going on to the Startup Jamaica Accelerator program. The boot camp will be from September 8 to 12, and what will take place was also discussed by Minister Robbins.
So the boot camp is intended to be a 3-day exercise where they'll go through their business modeling. So to determine, does this idea make sense from a business perspective? Who are my competitors? Who would be my customers? How can I actually make money doing this? To help them, for example, to work through their financials. So one, we're going to help them to establish legal entities. Secondly, we have to assist them in determining, how do I value my company? Is my company valued at $100 or $200? We intend to start with the first batch of 10 companies in Startup Jamaica in October, November. And these 10 companies will then be put through this 100-day period. Now, when you sign up for the accelerator, you have to define in very clear terms milestones along the way for that 100-day period. And you're going to be monitored almost on a daily basis. That's the real concept of the accelerator, where you put persons in for a very short but intense period. You provide them with the support, the physical support of being in the facility, but also the technical expertise. We provide an opportunity for them to have access to people who have money and who want to invest in their businesses. So, as I mentioned, an angel investor network will be launched shortly. Part of the program, once they finish the 100 days, is that they will have access to a network of funders. They will have an access to a network of mentors too. So we are reaching out to the local private sector so that they can see this as an investment opportunity, but also importantly, a source of growth.
Some water with you, please.
Water gone. But me need water for cook. So how me go wash?
Let's weather the drought. Start conservation measures today. Check for leaks around your house. Opt for shorter showers over long baths. Reuse water to water plants and lawn. Watch the amount of water you and your family use. Try cooking methods that don't require much water. And if you have a vehicle, avoid washing it regularly. Remember, water is as important as the air we breathe. So conserve our water, conserve our life.
Paying for the education of our children can be an expensive necessity. To support families with this, a number of scholarships have been established. In this next feature, let's look at how you can access some provided by the government.
Government, through its various ministries and agencies, awards a number of scholarships to students each year. You too could qualify and benefit from a scholarship or grant, but you must seek in order to find. At the primary level and moving on to high school, students who do GSAT each year and earn high scores can get scholarships from the Ministry of Education.
The scholarships are awarded to students from both public and private institutions. The government in itself, the Ministry of Education, offers a total of 32 scholarships, government scholarships, yearly to students who sit GSAT examination.
Of the 32, 4 are named after prominent Jamaicans, former government minister J.A.G. Smith, and 3 of the national heroes, Marcus Garvey, Paul Bogle, and George William Gordon. To qualify for these, students must meet some personalized criteria, generally related to the person in whose honor the scholarship is named.
For example, the Paul Bogle Scholarship, it is offered to a boy or a girl who must be attending Morant Bay High School. So if a child is selected to attend Morant Bay High School, then that child qualifies to be among those who would be selected. But the bottom line is that it would be based on performance.
So what of the next 28? Well, these are awarded annually to the top performing boy and girl in each parish.
Basically, the 28 scholarships are awarded based on performance, purely. And it is awarded to all school types. So private, which we refer to the prep schools, all age schools, primary and junior high primary school students.
Since these students are selected based entirely on scores, the process is rather easy. In addition to these, the Education Ministry also offers sponsored scholarships, extended through private sector institutions such as banks to top-performing students. High schoolers, you might have just completed 5th or 6th form and are ready to experience the college life. In case you didn't know, the Student Loan Bureau actually offers grants. Yes, under its specially designed Grant in Aid GIA program, students receive a specified non-repayable sum to assist with the funding of school-related expenses. It's not a full scholarship, but it can certainly help to make a difference. Check out the Bureau's website to see if you qualify or call them at 754-2559. Then there is JAMVAT. The Jamaica Values and Attitudes program is another viable option from the Ministry of Education. Students volunteer for 200 hours and in turn earn a payoff of 30% of their tuition fees as well as an additional stipend. A great reason to volunteer indeed. For those of you already in university, the Ministry of Education's tertiary level unit is a great place to start your search. You can stop by their offices, make a call, or simply log on to their website, click on scholarships, and a long list of opportunities opens. The Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs also have a number of scholarship programs in place, especially if you're looking for opportunities to study abroad. Think Cuba, Russia, Japan, and so many other foreign countries. These scholarships offer not just educational advancement, but to a greater extent, a cultural exchange and broadening of your global network. If you need help in your search for scholarships, another government agency, the National Center for Youth Development, which falls under the Ministry of Youth and Culture, also displays scholarship options for students on its website. For further tips, call and/or check out the websites of the Ministries of Education, Finance, and Foreign Affairs. Hope you found the information quite useful. Students, go online, check out the websites, call the numbers, be proactive, and make the necessary steps in making your educational dreams a reality.
On the board this week, all are invited to Hope Gospel Assembly's 6th annual Back to School Fair, taking place today on the grounds at West 17 at the newly refurbished Garvey Great Hall, 76 King Street, downtown Kingston. The lecture is in commemoration of the 100th anniversary of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and the African Communities League. It takes place from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The Kitson Town Seventh-day Adventist Church in St. Catherine is inviting persons in and around the community to a free health clinic. It will be held tomorrow on the church grounds. Come out from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. for medical services, including back-to-school medicals for children, blood sugar tests, cholesterol tests, urinalysis, dietary counseling. Weight and health checks will also be done. The Kitson Town Seventh-day Adventist Church is also inviting you to its Midnight Cry evangelistic series of crusade. That is taking place from August 10 to September 6 with evangelist William Leckie and host pastor Wayne Smichael. Send us your events for broadcast on the JIS Community Notice Board. Call 922-868022 or send an email to cbishop@jis.gov.jm.
Our top news stories of the week are next.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. The Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC, this week reported that Jamaica had begun to see the benefits of government's economic reform program. EPOC's co-chairman Richard Biles pointed to the 3.3% decrease in unemployment as well as the 2.5% inflation rate from January to June this year.
I think that the positive results we're seeing with the fiscal management, lower inflation, improved employment, and a smaller current account deficit all are pointing in the same direction, and that direction is an economy that is turning, becoming more efficient and producing some growth. And for that we are quite pleased.
Based on those and other monetary assessments, Jamaica is therefore expected to pass the 5th IMF test. A team from the fund arrived in the island on Wednesday to begin that assessment. The IMF mission, led by Jan Keys Martin, will be in the island until August 22. On Tuesday, the Ministry of Education revealed that there had been a 13% improvement in CSEC math scores this year, one of 14 subjects that reflected improved performance by students. Portfolio Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaites said the improved math performance was due to a number of interventions by the ministry.
Long way to go, but a very good and encouraging stage to have reached. It shows us what can be achieved if we are focused and if we are dedicated to making the changes.
Meanwhile, the Education Minister assured teachers that they would be paid the retroactive amounts due to them at the end of August. He said this pertained specifically to the 75% of the teaching workforce who were normally paid by government. The other 25% were paid indirectly through Bursa-paid schools.
I wish to state clearly that the arrears that are owing to the directly government-paid teachers will be paid on time. In respect of the remainder who are paid through the Bursa-paid schools, the auditors are in contact with the Bursa-paid schools.
Health Minister Dr. Fenton Ferguson is appealing to persons who experience poor treatment at public health institutions to make a report to the ministry so that proper investigations can be carried out and sanctions applied where necessary. The minister made the appeal against the background of recent reports of ill treatment of patients at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital in Kingston.
I urge persons to officially report any dissatisfaction with the service they receive by way of our clients' complaint mechanism, either at the level of the facility or directly to the Ministry Standard and Regulations Division. I assure you that your information will be treated with the strictest confidentiality.
Acting Chairman of the Southeast Regional Health Authority, Dr. Andre Cook, is leading the investigation into the incidents and should make a report to the minister by mid-September. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry confirmed another 4 locally transmitted cases of chikungunya this week, bringing Jamaica's total case number to 8, including 2 imported infections. The affected parishes include St. Thomas, St. Catherine, St. Anne, Kingston, and St. Andrew. One suspected case at the University of the West Indies is awaiting confirmation from the Caribbean Public Health Agency. Director of Emergency, Disaster Management and Special Services, Dr. Marian Bullock-DeCass, said the Health Ministry would continue its public education and intense vector control activities. Meanwhile, Jamaicans are reminded that although there is now local transmission of chikungunya, individuals can significantly reduce the spread of the disease by limiting opportunities for the Aedes aegypti mosquito to breed. And finally, National Security Minister Peter Bunting is to receive a report from the Acting Police Commissioner by next Monday on new arrangements for the care and protection of persons in police custody. Acting Police Commissioner Glenmore Hines was given a directive last week to conduct a comprehensive review of all procedures and arrangements governing detentions. It followed the death of 31-year-old Maria Dean, an inmate at the Barnett Street Police Station in St. James, who died on August 6 at the Cornwall Regional Hospital after reportedly being injured by his cellmates. Dean was in custody for possession of a small quantity of marijuana. Several inmates have already been arrested in connection with his death, while 6 police officers who were on duty at the time of the incident have been interdicted or suspended with immediate effect, even as investigations continue. And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
And that's it for today's show. Thanks so much for watching. It was good sharing this half hour with you. So join us again tomorrow for more. Tell us what you thought of this show. Send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or hit us up on Twitter @JISNews. And our website, jis.gov.jm, remains a constant portal for the very latest government information, so keep the link. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Until next time, stay safe and be good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.